Hey everyone, thanks for joining me in this video. The topic is going to be a new house that I just purchased. For those of you who follow the channel, you'll know that in addition to making and selling farm tables, I also do a little bit in real estate. And what I've been doing so far is buying inexpensive houses and renting them out. And then I've got a few other projects as well. Some of those have been rented in the past and I want to sell them now, and others are houses that I'm going to fix and sell. No renting at all. I may end up living in one of them, but probably just fix it and sell it. Basically right now I'm trying to learn a lot of different stuff about real estate in general. I currently own 6 houses, and only 2 of them are rented right now. 2 of them are rented. I live in one. I'm standing in one right now that I just bought, and then I have the big farmhouse that you've seen the video on. That's the one that I'm going to fix to sell. And then the first house that I bought, the one that I did the video on, is $5,000. That one is currently, basically I'm finished with that one, and I'm working on getting that sold now. So that's sort of my real estate world in a nutshell. And then when it comes to this particular house, I just bought it about 2 weeks ago as of today. I think it's like July 10th or something like that. I signed the contract, and the next day I left and went to on vacation for 2 weeks with my family and my wife's family. So I'm just now getting back this day after I got back. And I'm here today just sort of evaluating what needs to be done. I'm going to tear up all the carpets, yank some stuff out of here, throw it in my pickup truck, and just kind of get this place cleaned up, just basically where I can see what needs to be done. The goal is to basically do the least amount possible and still offer someone a nice, clean, little inexpensive place to live. That's sort of my little niche within the rental market, is not spending a lot of money myself to buy places, not spending a lot to fix them up, but I'm not going to rent them out for an enormous amount of money either. I'm just making an okay amount of money off of it each month, and then that builds up your assets. Because see, renting houses is not just about the amount you're renting every month. You know, say you have houses and you rent them all for $500 a month. Well, somebody might say, well, that's not that much rent. But if you end up renting a house to someone for an affordable price, they're much more likely to stay there long term, and you're not going to have those months of no rent when someone moves out, having to fix things up all over again, paint the whole place, all the time that is spent. Having someone stay and keeping an affordable price for them is worth a lot. So that's sort of what I like to try to do. This particular house, cinder block house, 500 some square feet, 1 bedroom, crawl space, asphalt shingle roof. But the cool thing is the previous owner had started fixing this place up. And what they did is they did 200 amp electric, installed a heat pump, and vinyl replacement windows. Those are 3 things that are good to have in a house, and I didn't have to pay for them to put them in there. The purchase price on this house, well, when I first saw it online, it was being offered at a reduced price, and that reduced price was $14,500. And it was being sold by a wholesaler. Basically, that just means it's a guy who found the owner of the house, negotiated a contract with them, purchase price for them, and then they sell the contract for me. So they middleman themselves in the deal and make money off of it. In this case, he only made $2,700, which isn't bad for how much he had to do, but still not an enormous amount of money. So that's one option of how to make money in real estate with very little money. I ended up negotiating the final sales price to $10,900, and then the total cost with closing costs was right under $12,000. So I think it was $11,700 some dollars and change. So that is sort of a, you know, all my houses, I mean, the deal of how I got this house, and then again, the goal is just to get it fixed up real quick, get it clean, a place that someone can move into, and not have little problems all the time, because that would be, you know, sometimes landlords will kind of slumlord the whole thing, but then you end up constantly having to come over to fix stuff, and that's no fun. That sort of takes the whole point out of it. But like when it comes to what I was saying about these houses building up assets, a lot of times, again, people will say, it's only $500, you know, that's not a lot of money. But again, you keep that person in there, but what you're doing is not so much how much money you make per month in rental. Once you get enough houses, yes, you're going to end up making a pile of money from that rental, but you own all those houses, and at any moment you can sell them. And of course, when you fix them up, you increase its value. You're already buying it for less than it's worth. So right off the bat, you could sell it for more. Then you fix it up, you can sell it for more, you know, much more usually. And then down the road, you never know what's going to happen. The street that you buy and rent houses on could improve. Some, you know, place could just be built or something that just changes everything. Real estate's one of those sort of games, if you want to call it that, that anything can happen. It's a wonderful thing to be involved in because the amount of money you can potentially make is basically unlimited. You can work it on so many different levels. You can just be, an average guy like me that's doing stuff and making some small-ish amount of money, but building up to something that will be large. Or you can be somebody that has some real money to spend, come in, spend several $100,000 and make millions. I mean, you can do anything, and of course you can make much more money than even that. So I won't get too excited and run my mouth, but so long, go ahead and show you around this house and talk a little bit about what I'm going to do to it. Here's the outside of the house. Again, cinder block construction, simple roof, little wooden front porch, and you can see the replacement windows as well. It's got a kind of a nice little driveway, one of these little half loops or whatever you call it, where you don't have to pull in and back out. You can just kind of loop around the driveway, and then here is the yard. As far as the yard goes, I think the property line is somewhere around in here, and then the previous owner's ex-husband, I believe, owns this lot to the left, and it goes back and then down behind the house. And I'm going to go ahead and talk to them and see if they're interested in selling that as well. If they'll sell it for cheap, I'll go ahead and buy it. There's a well in the yard, which is kind of a dangerous thing. This is just straight up, you pull that tent off the top of that, look down, it's a 30-foot deep hole, no lining or anything. It's just a hand-dug dirt well. Back to the house, cinder block construction. I'm going to have the outside of the house parged or stuccoed, whatever you call it. And luckily it hadn't been painted in the past, so I'll just have that all smoothed over, either tint the cement or paint it in the end, and then I'll paint the gables as well. This house is also going to need some new shingles, but it's a really small little roof, so that won't be too expensive. And at some point I'll probably even take the chimney out. Again, not all these things that I'm mentioning I'm gonna do them now. Probably what I'm gonna do is just do the minimum on this house first, rent it out and make some money off of it, and then down the road, once whatever renter is in it at that time moves out, I might come back in and do some more things. But I kind of want to limit the amount of money that I put into something up front and start actually making some money back off of it, and then use that money to make the repairs instead of just keep going in the hole using my own cash. So as far as the street goes, it's just a little street with a couple houses and some trailers. You can see there. One thing about the house, it is right beside some railroad tracks, but this is a track that is not used very much, and also it's right in a town, so the train's not barreling down it. But it is something to consider as far as like the value of a house goes and stuff. Here's the little porch. That's going to need some work, but it's simple stuff. And I'm just going over this just more as an example than specifically what the deal is with this house. It's just small stuff, but this is stuff like when a person shows up to look at a house like this, it looks bad to somebody who wants to own it and live in it, or someone that's easily intimidated, but that makes it good for when you're the person buying it as an investor that's used to fixing things up. So you can see here the it's missing one of the 2x6s on the porch. Around the side here, needs a band on the outside for all those joists to hang on. It's just weird stuff. It's just somebody just tossed things together. So basically I'll come in, I'll tighten this porch up. Again, there's the outside. That'll all be smoothed over, so it's going to be nice and stuccoed in the end. Fresh paint. Down the side of the house, here's the heat pump. This is a weird little heat pump. I don't have any experience with them. It actually needs to be finished being hooked up, but this is the the normal outdoor unit part here, but then the air handler is over in the housing. So the ductwork comes right out of that underneath the house, and then from there it comes up through the floor, through the vents in the floor. And this is, I'm sure, the reason that the house was upgraded to 200 amps. So on the back of the house, I'll back up and let you see the whole back of the house in a minute, but you can see this is the new meter base, 200 amp meter base. And it's kind of funny, the power line comes off the corner of the house here and then just runs into the woods. There's a street kind of like back over here, but it's just kind of funny looking. It looks like it runs off in the middle of nowhere. Basically, there's just been no upkeep in this place for at least 5 years. So I'm going to come back in here and cut all this little stuff down and kind of get in there and clean it out. Property line wise, The property line, I think, goes basically back to here or something. I'm not sure. I know the house is firmly on its own lot, so I don't really care what property lines are that much when it comes to rental stuff. It's, you know, if you were going to be selling the house, you know, you might want to know, or if you want to live there and do different things, you might want to know, but I'm not going to be putting additions onto this house or anything. It's just going to stay basically as is, just a cleaned up version of what you see. This is the back, and again, there's just this is the kind of house that doesn't look special, but as far as a rental goes, it's a little money maker. You know, it's just super simple. It's basically just a garage, you know, that someone can live in. And what that means is just a utilitarian place that it's not too flashy. There's not a whole lot of nice stuff that you need to keep nice. It's just real simple, and it's not going to be a drain on your time and your money. You can see the end here, all that plywood. You know, what I'll probably do with something like that is, in this case, this stuff's probably still solid enough. So I might just put some vertical wood strips on there, give it that board and batten look, and then paint it, put some solid stain on it. I'll do all that, you know, and then in addition, with this being stuccoed, it'll be a nice looking little place, you know, small and cute. You know, other stuff like this, the house just has some cinder blocks stacked up, probably going to leave that. You know, I won't probably build a little set of wooden steps. You know, a lot of this stuff, some people don't have the stomach for real estate, and then you got other people that go, well, what's that even worth mentioning? You know, about leaving those things. You know, some people think, well, you should build the wooden steps. You should make the place, you know, super nice. In the end, this place can't rent for $1,500. So, you know, you can't go but so far. You just need to make it nice for what it is. And also, you know, if you make something really, really nice, the person that moves in is going to expect it to be really, really nice forever. When someone moves in and they see the house and it's an okay house, it's clean, sort of in that you know, lower level of rental, as far as like the features of it, you know, how nice you make a kitchen, what appliances you put in, and all that kind of junk. That's what they're expecting. You know, it's not like you're not tricking anyone. Someone that moves into it knows what they're getting into from the start. So, just for those that aren't kind of in the only reason I may sound like I'm at all defensive in that is doing this type of stuff. You talk to a lot of people who don't do this type of stuff, and it's just totally out of context for them, so they don't understand certain aspects of it, not actually being defensive. So here, let me start over. Sorry, got off topic. I'm walking in the house backwards. This is the kitchen. This is the counters, kind of weird little homemade countertop. They're ultra high. They're about probably 42 inches tall. So they're like 6 inches taller than normal cabinets, and there's just a little bank of cabinets above that. So I may eventually get in here and kind of change the kitchen out a little bit, put a normal set of cabinets in. It's got this little built-in corner cabinet with some mirrors. There's one of the vinyl replacement windows. We didn't really look at those. Just simple. I think it was just a job. They probably installed them themselves, but they did a fine job. I'll get in here and trim things out on the inside and the outside. There's the plug for the oven. Probably the oven and the refrigerator both sat there. Kind of has the look of a refrigerator. Was sitting right there. And then the oven kind of tucked up right against it. So, you know, a lot of these small houses, especially rentals, they're, you know, not laid out like some mansion. Little utility closet. So there's the new panel. And then here's hot water. Nice. So that'll be like a little pantry. Here's the living room. So there's the front door. Nice carpet. All that's getting torn out today. Turn around and look at it from this way for you. So that's what you see when you walk in. And this paneling was basically just attached right to the cinder block. So, you know, the cinder block's going to hold moisture, so that messed up the paneling, so I've got to do something about that. Also, the ceilings here and there have kind of hanging down from the joists, not so much in this room, but other parts of the house. So I need to tighten that up or either re-drywall the ceiling. Here's the bedroom. Its dimensions are, I don't know, 10 by 12 feet, 10 by 13 feet, something like that. On the smaller side, but the whole house is small, 500 some square feet. I think the house's outside dimensions are 26 by 28 or something like that. So it's basically a square. Then you've got the bathroom. Glad this camera does good in low light. It's very dark in here. So there's the little vanity. so I had trouble focusing in the dark. Again, kind of this homemade rig job. I'll probably yank this out and just put something simple in. Toilet, tub, and that tub shower walls cover up a window on the outside. So long term I may end up kind of changing that around and putting a window, just putting another one of these replacement windows in that one and just kind of reorient the bathroom a little bit. It's a really big bathroom. This bathroom is as big as the bedroom I'm standing in minus this closet, which is where the hot water is. So it's got this really big space here. So you got a lot of options in this house. You could make this bedroom bigger, make the bathroom smaller. With the bathroom being that big, you could just make this whole house handicap accessible by widening the doorways, and then you've got plenty of room in this bathroom to make it a handicap accessible bathroom. And depending on what kind of rental you are making it, if you're making it some sort of rental that caters to older people, handicapped people, there's all kinds of different programs that sort of help them get places and then pay for them if that's something you want to get into. My goal is just to find a nice, normal, probably older person that would like to come in here and stay forever. You know, that's what you're always going for. But you don't always get that. So that is really pretty much it. Again, like I said, I'm not going to go crazy in this house. I want to keep it simple, keep it inexpensive, and just find the right person instead of making the house, suit everybody. I'll just kind of get it cleaned up to my liking and then find the right person for the house. So that is about it. Probably won't work out. Let me see. Yep. Thank you all so much for watching the video, and again, I'll be doing updates on all of this in the future. I'll post videos probably here on the Homestead Craftsman's channel as well as the Homemade Home channel. That's the channel that I started out doing the videos on my own personal house, and I'm going to do more videos on that. I filmed it, I just never edited the different steps. I didn't film everything, but I filmed a good deal of stuff and the more interesting stuff. So I'll get to that stuff when I can. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in future videos.